Hello everyone, welcome to the first live session, live hangout on my channel. It's called Hangout with Plastic because that's basically what I'm gonna do. I have a huge gray pile to deal with tonight, and please comment, send images of what you're currently working on. I hope it will be a nice way to spend St. Nicholas Day or evening in my case. And so for today I have something special prepared. It's a really massive pile of gray stuff, and it's the Shatterpoint core set. And to be honest, I'm not a great fan of games with very specific like reference to how it should look like. With GW games, it's more like a canvas. You can come up with your own paint scheme. You can come up with your own conversions and just make your story for that, and make it really how you want to look like. And here it's like you have everyone has very specific references written in their heads, how characters should look, what colors, even whether they should be have signs of wear down, and how buildings should look. So I was quite skeptical, despite hearing it's quite a nice game, but I stumbled upon a really good Black Friday deal. So I thought, for half the regular price, it's hard to walk away from that. But as you may know, for example, G-Dub's miniatures are made in so-called heroic scale. So this means that some parts of are like overscaled to make them more visible, like guns and some details. Here the miniatures are theoretically bigger than, for example, the standard 288mm scale for Warhammer, etc. But they are very, you could say, fragile. They're very thin. They're very delicate. So I think it's gonna be a challenge to piece them all together. Here are the bases for the start, but I don't think it's a good way to use them first, because then I will have to decide which miniatures I want to put where, and haven't decided that yet. I can see there is just four versions repeated 4 times, and 2 bigger bases for I think this like 3 minis on 1 minute on 1 stand, 1 base. And so yeah, let's start with the guys, and let's see how it goes to assemble them. What was weird for me, I had to check a few times. There are no assembly instructions included in the box. You have to download them, and while I understand the idea that you just basically use them once, still it's a bit weird for me that you have to look them up and download them. And secondly, I understand there's not much alternative ways that you can put them together. It's pretty straightforward. You have A, B, C, D letters for each mini, and then numbers. And they're like literally, I don't know, some heads to choose in some cases. And yet this is like, these 2 sprues is, I think if I'm correct, all the minis in this set, 16 of them. And then the rest, like 3 huge bags, just terrain. And it's something that is really interesting in this set for me, that you have such a huge pile of terrain, and it seems interesting and promising. It's not very detailed, I think, compared to the GDub stuff, but well, let's see. Yeah, so we can start with A, which is the Anakin Skywalker. Yeah, with all the new Star Wars shows, there is so much reference. It's really hard to do anything like not standard with these minis. It's interesting for me that you mainly see that people do this set in like the desert planet style, um, which, well, it's understandable. It's many promotional materials. However, on the other hand, in this box you get like a background to take pictures of your minis, and it's two-sided, and the one side is a desert planet, but the other one, it's a winter one, and it's something that got me thinking it may be a nice idea to go winter, to make it at least stand out a bit from the rest, and especially the bases, the terrain, and sorry for the quality of my camera. It's not the standard setup I use for my videos, but so I think there is not much the mold lines that you have to deal with in these minis. They look pretty okay. But yeah, but I still have to use the reference how to assemble them, because it's not, I mean, it is pretty straightforward. Okay, yeah, I see that my idea to make my own sprue goo is yeah, maybe valid. It may be useful here. Yeah, because I can see already that there are gonna be some visible cracks. So yeah, I generally prefer to use the glue with the needle, although it has some disadvantages, but yeah, and I think it will be a wise idea to put some more here on the, yeah, when it goes where it goes together, and just squish it real hard. Yeah. So I have some experience with similar type of miniatures. For a long time as a kid, I was assembling scale models, so tanks, planes, also with minis, some soldiers, World War II stuff, and they were generally like similar scale and detail and posture, or how could you say, thickness. But to be honest, it's like you know, when you see this, lightsaber, you really understand why Warhammer miniatures are done in this so-called heroic scale, if I'm correct. Because I mean, you know, it's not even. I mean, you can do a lot with that probably when you put the paint on it, but it's really really like a needle. It's not an exaggeration, you know. You can take a look at the needle from the glue, and this it's like two needles. It's I will see. I will see how it's if painting it's these miniatures is disappointing or not. I see it's quite nicely made in terms of giving you a lot of areas to glue them together, and so this is nice. That it's a bit different than G-dubs, I think. Bit different philosophy, even if you consider the newer the newer newly designed miniatures by the by Games Workshop. It's still I think quite a bit different philosophy here. So yeah, but okay, Anakin. Apart from the lightsaber that makes me really nervous not to break it. I mean, it's not even, you know, you don't have a place to like reinforce it with some kind of, you know, metal rod or anything. It's like, you know, it's all there is. Okay, and now I should fit it inside. Okay, yeah, that's a nice fit. It's a really nice fit. Yeah. So yeah, for now I have to say I like the way you put them together. It's not something that I have expected, but I'm still nervous about the lightsaber. It's like, God, so small. I mean, it's so thin. I wonder how it's with when you play with it. I mean, it's a bit. Yeah, maybe it's not so bad. Yeah. First arm and lightsaber arm. Oh yeah, that's spooky. That's spooky. Yeah, I have to say I don't see many mold lines. I see like here it's gonna need some filling, although it's not something you will probably see much. The other ones look pretty okay. So it's pretty clever how it's all done here. Although when I looked for the assembly instructions for the battle droid, it's a whole different story. You get so many small parts that it's scary. Okay, so yeah, so we have Anakin. We have Anakin more or less. ready. He's huge. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but this lightsaber seems like too long for me. I think in the movies they were like shorter. Um, maybe it's just my impression. So yeah, let's go for the letter B, which is Rex. Oh, we get first customization here. Whoopee! We can choose whether he should have a helmet or not. So and you get some more parts. It's yeah, B. Yeah, so you could say it's more like a true scale. So the proportion of feet, hands, uh, guns is it's more realistic, and I mean you could say it's better, but yeah, you know, hard to say because you know it's. I mean, look at the this gun. It's like if you played 40K, you maybe remember the bolt guns, like the first. I think I have it somewhere here. It's like old edition bolt guns. They're not there anymore, but I mean, compared to the primary scale now, they look so tiny, and I mean, compared to this gun, it's like it's huge. It's huge. So so yeah, that's I mean, I think it depends what you like to paint and what's your main jam in the hobby. If it's playing, if it's the theme, if you just love the Star Wars theme, and especially that you have so many different characters. Now with all the new TV series and movies, it's so much, so many characters you can choose from, and like sub stories. Not only the main storyline of the Star Wars. You have this whole Mandalorian and with Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett, and the Clone Wars animated series. So it's a lot to choose from, and it's all included in this game, which is really nice. So if you love the setting, if you love Star Wars, I think it's really cool. You can use. I mean, you can just you can enjoy this setting, and if you like the rules, I've heard they're pretty nice. So if you're in it for the for a good rule set, for a good game, then maybe it's also nice. If you're in it for the painting, modeling aspect, it it heavily depends on what's your main focus in painting and in modeling. If it's, you know, if you like to come up with nice paint schemes, I'm sure there's a lot you can do with this minis. it's not, you know, you can get a very I mean, you can still stick to the references, and still make them really unique, and paint them your own way in your own style. And but still, you will probably, I mean, you will feel limitations, and you also see all these minis are monopose. So um, every person who will buy this set will have the same poses of these minis, and it's something I really don't like with generally, not only, I mean, Shatterpoint, but also G-dubs. We get more and more like very dynamically posed minis, um, very with very intricate build, and honestly, it's quite limited. I mean, it's cool that it is some important character or hero or whatever, but every person in the world will have him have this character the same, unless they put a lot into converting. It's just like you simply turn head or arm in a different position, because with this way of making joints, I mean, they're very sturdy. They are cool, and they are very secure. But it's only one way you can put this together, and if you want to do it differently, it's not like with the old firstborn space marines or terminators. You could just put an arm a bit up or down. I mean, it's not a lot, but you can still do something. No, you have to put it precisely this way or other, and because that's how the joints will fit together, and that's all. So you know, for me, um, it's not tempting. I mean, it's not something I'm looking for in this hobby. So, but you know, as I said, if you're in it for the lore and you want to you know, get deep into the Star Wars universe, or if you really like painting and you want something different and something bigger than Warhammer or the popular 28 millimeter scale, maybe it's interesting. I mean, for now it's hard for me to say anything about the detail. I think it's like less sculpted. All the parts are not so articulated, which, I mean, seems only logical because it follows the true scale approach. But again, it's not not necessarily my jam, but still think it's worth trying. I wanted to try it. I didn't know what to pass on a really nice Black Friday opportunity, and well, I thought it would be nice to try the rules also. I don't play much, to be honest. I think I haven't played anything in like a year, and before I only played like Kill Team, so. And maybe this will be something that will sit better with me, with my wife. Maybe it will be something that will stay at my home. Wait for my kids to grow, to play together. Because I mean, it has some nice. I mean, it's not grimdark. It's maybe more kids friendly than, you know, your standard 40k and Yeah, that's one thing, and another is that you probably maybe easier because they are bigger. It's easier to reference them. I mean, you just can watch some Star Wars movies, and everyone will understand who is who, and what is the lore, what is the story behind it. So yeah, maybe it has some nice some potential for me in terms of gameplay. Okay, so now Clone Troopers. I mean, it's also really really astonishing that in these two sprues you can fit 16 really huge minis. It's like they're big, so you know it's it's quite a lot, and it's really, when you look at it, and or also new Games Workshop minis, you can see what long way we've came in this hobby. The manufacturing process, the design process is like, it has changed a lot, and you know, in the past to fit so many models. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's only G Dubs, because when I remember the scale models and the miniatures, their sprues were like more like these ones, and it was like literally 25 years ago. So maybe it's not only the introduction of, um, modeling on the computers instead of doing it manually, and it's just different approach, and because when you have the this miniature scale minis, so this, I don't know, World War II guys, they are generally monopose too. I mean, you don't get much there in terms of diversifying them. Of course, the thing is, it's not the same. I mean, usually make some kind of diorama with them, so the problem of repeating the same poses that someone else has, or that everyone who bought the same set will have the same set of German, British, American troops with the same poses. I mean, it's not a big deal because it's less likely that, you know, I mean, you don't play with them on a board game, on the tabletop. I mean, it's not possible that you will have two sets of the same minis fighting with each other on the tabletop. It's like, they will be in some diorama, on some display, and probably arranged differently, showing some different, recreating some different situations. So it's not the same. It's not the same story as here. And here it's like, if you're gonna if you're gonna play the same assemblies, I mean the same group or unit, or however it's called in this game, you have the same roster. You will have exactly the same minis. I really like the idea in Malifaux that you can have like lots, as if I understand correctly, you can have different minis for like the same uh, roles in your team. So and here it's like, I mean, if you use clone troopers, it's gonna be, as far as I understand, these clone troopers, or this Anakin Skywalker. I know maybe there are some alternative sculpts like you have in Lord of the Rings, or the middle-aged strategy game, so that you have several versions of I don't know, Frodo or Aragorn or whoever else, so that you can just, I mean, I suppose they do not differ in terms of rules, but just of pose and some attributes, some clothing, so you can get more variety, and you can just choose whichever one you like most. And here it's like, I don't know if it's possible. It's if you have any choice, or you're just stuck with the Anakin Skywalker, or the clone trooper, or the Rex clone trooper, or it's it's weird. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe it's not possible to for the same characters to face each other in this game. That would make sense. But it's another problem of these kinds of games, when you have like clear sides, and and the lore that says, okay, I mean, apart from Clone Wars, when you can have clones fighting with each other, it's like, can battle droids fight with themselves, or can you have like two Anakin Skywalkers on the battlefield fighting with each other? I mean, no, it's not possible. It does not fit. And in other games, I mean, when they were like games first, not an adaptation, you just Space Marines, fighting Space Marines. Yes, of course, we have tons of books about such wars. Um, Everyone can fight anyone, and it will make sense. And here it's like, really? I mean, Jedi fighting Jedi. It's like, I don't know if it's possible in the rules. If it's not, then it also sucks, because it means I have to have at least like two rosters of good guys and bad guys, so that I can play with other people. So yeah, that's just another feature. I'm not saying limitation, because it does not have to be seen as a limitation for everyone, but a feature of a game that is based on this type of movie. Because if you have, for example, Fallout, it's like everyone can fight with everyone there, and it will make perfect sense in the lore. But here it's like, no, you have clear sides. You have very clear story, and I mean, I know it changes a bit. You have like this sides, not mainline stories, but side ones. Like if you played Battlefront 2, you have this Imperium special forces soldiers who change sides. And I mean, okay, yeah, but still, I mean, it's not that simple. It's like, yeah, I mean, does not work that easily. So we have Ashoka Tano. Yeah, but still, I mean, honestly, as a kid, I think I would love this game, and the chance to have a miniature game set in Star Wars. Although I never was really into the Lord of the Rings. I mean, I had some minis, but again, they were true scale, and it's not. I mean, really, it's not that cool. They are so small and brittle, and I mean, maybe it's an interesting painting and modeling challenge, but I mean, honestly, yeah, I don't know how to cut this stuff out. It's like so fragile. It's like so small. God, I mean, it's because I mean, my clippers are not the best, and they have to be really sharp to not to create this. I know it's not a vibration, but this snap that can make it break in other part. I think I will start by snapping it here and cutting it off later. But yeah, that is not. Um, so again, if you're not so much into creating a background story of your own chapter of or your own minis or coming up with your own paint schemes, it's perfectly fine, and all these monopose models and all that stuff, it may be okay for you, but it's coming up to sprue really nicely. Don't have to worry that much about all these brittle parts. So yeah, I mean, it's all cool. Whatever you prefer, whatever you like. For me, I really am. I'm looking forward to see how I mean, painting it's gonna be, because I haven't painted anything this like the true scale models. Ooh, for a really long time. I stopped before getting into Warhammer, and it was like really long time ago. So I'm really interested how it's. I mean, how this like less articulated details gonna look. I have to think about how I want to approach painting it, how I want to do it. I want to make it interesting for me. So for sure, I'm not. I don't want to go like just strictly recreating the color schemes. I want to do something interesting with it to make it a nice exercise for me out of it, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. And I'm really interested in the rules. I have to read them. I mean, there's a lot of cards. I'm not a fan of cards in games. I mean, it's different if it's like a card with stats or summary like you have in Warhammer 40k or something. I'm not a huge fan when you like have to use them during the game, because I mean, if you don't have to keep them in your hand like hidden, then it's okay. I don't like keeping anything in my hand all the time. Um, so, but yeah, we'll see. So yeah, it's really. I mean, I have to say it's really well designed in terms of putting all these parts together. Of course, it is monopose. I mean, I'm not an expert. I don't have much experience in converting minis, especially doing it well. I imagine you would have to put a lot of effort and green stuff and sculpting into really reposing this mini, especially when you consider that her head is made of 3 separate parts, and the last one locks in when the head is glued to the torso. So it's like yeah, it's not something you can easily change, but the way it all comes together, it's really, really nice and clean. Although, when I look at the manual, I should now attach hands. I mean, with two lightsabers, and then all this part attach to the rest of the body. And I think this is not the best. It's not the best idea here. So yeah, I will just maybe go my own way about it, and yeah, start with the lower part of the body and legs, and match it to the torso, and only then I will do the rest. Okay, and now I see I have more contact surfaces to use. Yeah, because no, 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 I'm not attaching torso with two brittle lightsabers. No, I wanted to go the other way around. And yeah, I understand that these miniatures are even, I mean, they are not like true scale, true scale. I think, I mean, I have a feeling like they were modeled after the miniature, I mean, the animated series. So their proportions are even a bit more thinner than they should be on a regular human. So or humanoid. So they are like a bit thinner than they should be if it was like a real true scale. So it makes it even more, I'd say, weird and delicate, and the articulation of the details is also even less visible, because it's, for me it seems like the characters taken out from the Clone Wars, or yeah, or these animated series from the Star Wars universe, which are really nice, but still they make it all even more like, you know, yeah, from the animated series, not from the feature movies. So yeah. Okay, so this is the second Jedi. We have one more, and we have lots of Mandalorians, and so we have two seats left, and Mandalorians, battle droids, many weird droids, and more droids, and a Tuca, whatever that is. I have to say I don't know. I'm not that into all the lore and stuff. Yeah, and I will have some decision to make if I want Bo-Katan with the with with the helmet or without. I think there's a lot of characters with helmets, so it's better to have her without, although her helmet is really nice. Yeah, and now I really, I would love to repose her and put the helmet under her armor. I don't know, but it's not an option. She has to flying with her jetpack, and yeah. This sucks, to be honest. This sucks. But again, if you want a game that is about Star Wars, you're a great fan, you just, you want to get pieces together and paint them and have fun playing a Star Wars game from your beloved universe, and feel like you're reliving all the important moments of 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 this great story, then it's perfectly okay, and it seems like great way to do it. Oh my god, this is not like the part that I'm crazy about. They don't like fit into place. Here I need some more glue. And hold it for a bit. Yeah, that's so again, I'm pretty much positively um, astonished how well it goes to put this all together. But still, it's monopose. You can't forget that. Can't really forget that. Okay, so yeah. So we have Katan. Bo Katan, very interesting character from The Mandalorian, if you've seen it. Great role, great character. Holstered gun, another gun. It's interesting. Okay. Yeah, lots of parts for this mini. This one is in the air. In the air, gun out. It's nice that it's composed with the base, and so you can use I mean, it's held in the air with the use of the fumes. I don't think the face. I mean, it's yeah, maybe it's better open helmet. I mean, it was her feature, right? She was taking off the helmet, so she was not like strictly following the way, and that was part of the huge conflict with some Mandalorians. So I think she should have her helmet off. Because it was such an important feature of her character that she was showing her face, contrary to the Mandalorian. Okay, so here we have a place for her foot. I mean, I really once again have to stress how well it is designed, how well it's thought of to be put together well, to stick together. It's really nice, and I mean, I don't put together lots of like current models from different manufacturers, like or games like Malifaux, Infinity, and even Warhammer. So I'm not the one to compare now and say, okay, these guys do better job or worse job. But it's really nice to put this together. I think the most modern sets I've put together were the Arc Commandos and the Primaris Crusader Squad for Black Templars. They were nice. Being monopose, um, they had much more customization. Of course, mainly in terms of weapons, but I mean, still, it was something. You can just, go for the rule of cool and choose whatever looks best for you. Um, Here again, the lore. This is the way. This is the way, and the way says that battle droids have to be have to be in this warm, bright color, warm, light color, and yeah. Maybe I'm too used to just everything being grimdark and with paint peeling off and everything being rusty, and maybe I should be more open for this. It's even hard to say when you're. I mean, is Star Wars like a brighter vision of the future than the Warhammer 40k universe? Probably. I mean, there's at least some good guys in the Star Wars universe, contrary to Warhammer, where the the best are the worst, you could say. Space Marines, the poster boys are. They're probably not the nicest guys to meet, especially when you're in some kind of trouble, because you never know if they're gonna consider you as the the victim or somehow the source of the issue. Oh shoot! I was meant to go with the open head. Yep. Yeah. So the face is not really much bigger than the one in the 40k of a 40k mini. So and it's, as I said, it's not so much articulated, and it's look cartoony. That's the phrase I was looking for. These all these minis look a bit cartoony. I mean, it's no I know it's a great gray plastic, but the way they are designed make them look a bit cartoony for me, and it's honestly it's not something making me like them more. it's no it's not okay, so here goes some part that we don't have now, so I can only put these together using this line of contact, and I have to put it down, stick it together or not. Oh, that's tricky part. I thought there's something to connect it better, but there is not. Yeah. I don't want to choose the base now. I want to assemble it without the base for now. Yeah, so who's next? Mandalorian. Clan Kreese, Mandalorian female from the Bo-Katan crew probably, and then Clan Kreese, Mandalorian's male. Then we go for the bad guys. Lord Maul, Gar Saxon, Super Commandos, Ventress, Kalani. I have some holes in the lore. I have to learn, because there's something missing. I don't know some of these characters, even though I've seen like I mean, I haven't seen all the animated series, but like the other ones, I've seen them all. I've seen all movies, all series like Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Acolyte, whatever there is, I've seen it. And Obi-Wan, yeah, all that stuff. There is a new one that came out yesterday. That's ahead of me. Okay, so another Clan Kreese. Female fighter. F. And when we go to the bad guys, there's gonna be more capes. More capes, more weird. Oh my god, Darth Maul with his double-sided lightsaber. That's gonna be brittle, and it's like a really long needle. Literally, I think you can see it even now, but it's crazy. It's really crazy. God, yeah. Oh my. Toxic Cloud wrote, "What's up? Hey man. Or girl, nice to see you. Happy that you're here, and what you're working on. What's on your table now? What gray plastic you're dealing with?" Did you? Oh, that's a question for you. Did you finish the miniatures that you probably got for Christmas last year? Or is it still waiting for you? And you're gonna finish it during this Christmas time? So, if any of you wondered how does it look like, what's the scale of these minis, maybe you now some more insight. Into how it goes, how it looks. It's really, I mean, for sure, the positive side of the monopose. That, oh, sorry, that's just my dogs hearing neighbors getting a bit nervous. I have to say it's quite enjoyable, but it also stems from the fact you have no customization. So, because when you have these Warhammer miniatures, then you have parts, tossed around, whole sprue or even several sprues. So it takes a lot of time to look for the specific numbers. Here you have just A, B, C, D and numbers, and it's all together in one section of the sprue. So yeah, that's really convenient. Of course, with lots of consequences in terms of customization, meaning there is none. Um, I wonder what's the path ahead this game. What's the adoption? I mean, is it popular or not? I have to say I've seen quite a lot of sets on sale from this game specifically. For this game specifically during Black Friday. Maybe it's just, in my area that it was not so popular and it was on sale. But I'm interested. I was wondering if just, it did not hit home. It did not get enough popularity, maybe not enough, you know. But on the other hand, it's what is it with the with the um, with the Star Wars games? We had the X-wing, which I heard was really nice. I think it was basically abandoned, and then we have the Star Wars Legion. I think it's doing pretty well. But now Shatterpoint being, as I said, at least in my area, being on sale for the Black Friday, but like really big sales and lots of sets. I mean, it does not look too good. I hope it does not mean that the game is, dying. It's gonna be abandoned, because I mean it's always sad with games get abandoned, especially when they are good. I don't know if this game is good in terms of rules, playability, but gameplay, but we will see. We'll have to dig into the rules and maybe make some test play in gray. Okay. So, yeah. We have now a male Mandalorian. So I have to say the good guys seem pretty okay to put together, but I think the hard part is gonna come with the Siths and the droids and all that stuff. It's not gonna be that that easy. It's not gonna be that easy. They have many parts and they look so delicate. Maybe again I'm unnecessarily worried, because till now it all went really nice, really easy. But so yeah, I mean, compared to putting together modern 40k sets, not having to browse through several sprues to find parts for one guy, it's really nice. But I mean, again, I know it's about putting as much as you can on one sprue. Here it's more organized, and maybe there is some middle ground, so you can have customization, but like you can have all the parts for one guy in one area, and then just some weapons or add-ons that fit multiple characters, multiple minis in some other area of the sprue. It may be not so effective in terms of using the space on the sprue, but maybe it would make the experience of putting them together a bit nicer. It's still, I mean, it's still a huge part of the hobby, putting these guys together, and you know, you may like it, you may not, but before you can play, before you can even paint, you need to put these guys together, and you know, it would not hurt to make it a bit smoother experience for the Warhammer miniatures. It can really be frustrating when you have to browse through several sprues, and you know, it's, I think especially with the Orc Commandos, it was like demanding and time consuming. It's, and I mean, it's not, it's a nice exercise to look for small parts and numbers, but you know, it's maybe some people enjoy it, but and yeah, it's harder when parts are, you know, nowadays, like here, it's not always, I mean, here it's not so bad. You have leg, torso, but sometimes these cuts are not going along like logical parts. So it's not an arm. It's an arm and part of the head or something, and it gets even harder to identify them on the sprue, because they're all too, they're not, you know, discernible. They're not different from each other in a way that makes it easier to recognize them. So yeah, now I feel like, I mean, putting together some old soldiers from 1 to 35 scale. No, this head should be, yeah, this way. Of course, the joints are made much better than they used to be, because they used to be just flat, so it was really hard to make them like stay together after putting the glue on. Yeah, so now the dreaded Dotmo, and I mean dreaded because of his super brittle double-sided lightsaber. I don't know how it's gonna, oh. I mean, gluing it together is one part. Then, I mean, spraying, I mean, putting primer on, painting, handling it while painting, handling it while gaming. It's like, oh man. Oh, and he got some weird, like, mechanic legs. So it's like Lord Maul after being cut in half by Qui-Gon Jinn, I suppose. Yep. I have to cut some bigger parts for now, and then just separate it, because it's so. Yeah. Okay. It was not that hard, but still, it's. Yeah. It's scary. It's scary. Okay, Darth Maul. Yeah. So first the torso. Yeah. Then his weird, I don't know, belt, whatever. Maybe it's joining his new legs to his torso. He uses 3 belts to keep it together. I don't know. Yep. So that's the torso, and then his head is in 2 parts. This I don't get. I mean, why make it in 2 parts? Is it like fun to put it together? 2 very, very little parts. Can even barely see. I mean, maybe it's a standard now for miniature hobbyists to use some magnifying glass or something. I don't, at least for now. I don't. I mean, because putting things together should be fun. That's part of the hobby. It's not like only a necessity. It should be fun. The whole thing emerges as you put parts together, and I mean, in this moment I don't see it really. I mean, why make it this head in 2 parts? I mean, I don't understand such design decisions. Expert modeler. I'm not a designer of such minis, so probably there is a reason. They know what they are doing, and yeah. For me, not much fun. This part. Prosthetic legs, or is it just, cartoony part, this cartoony aspect, the way they are modeled. He's got this weird knees, and I don't know. Oh, it's like pulled away, his fist, okay. His arm is pulled away. Now the hardest part, his dual lightsaber, which is, it's horizontal. Oh my god, it's like, yep, it's, I mean, it makes this mini huge in terms of, like, footprint. Okay, Gar Saxon. Oh my. I think it's the most parts yet. Okay, he can be open-headed with a sniper rifle or with a shield. Here's like really alternate assembly, because this guy has a jetpack. This is for like both versions, but he can either have like a huge sniper rifle and have no helmet, or he can have a helmet and a shield. This shield, I mean, it does not look really well, to be honest. I wanted to go for the shield, but little gun and does not look so good. Yeah, I mean, this part is disappointing, to be honest. It's look like, I don't know what. It does not look well. So I think I will go for the sniper rifle. Although I wanted to go for the shield. It looks more interesting than just another gun. But it does not look really well. That's the first, like, really disappointing part. look like it was not. It looks like it does not look like a mini. It looks like I mean, not even a Kinder Surprise toy. It's yeah, not good. Not really good. Okay, legs are the same either way. But yeah, it's nice. There is some other option. It's sad. It's just disappointing. But well, what can you do? It has some more parts that it needs. H13. It's where is it? Oh, okay, here. Okay, it's for the arms. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so it's decided. So I need okay H15. Yep, and 06, 07 two holstered pistols, two sidearms. Otherwise, you can say, and oh no, this gun also looks so brittle. Yep, and these weird parts for it's oh no, not H16. Okay, not this one. This one. That's this guy is tricky. Bad guys are tricky. I mean, at least they seem more tricky. So again, it's like a needle. It's so. I mean, it's not only about being potentially brittle. It's like it's not very visible. Where do you put paint there? I mean, I'm gonna see, but I'm not being too optimistic about it. I have some miniature soldiers, 1 to 35 scale from my childhood. I can compare it. I can show it to you. It's like even they have like sturdier guns. It's like you know. Um, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're gonna see how it goes when I start painting them. Maybe it's gonna be a lot of fun. Maybe it's gonna be a pain. We will see. We will see. We'll see if they're gonna stay with me for a long time or I'm gonna part my ways with them really, really fast. Oh my god, this leg is so complicated. Oh, it's this leg. Yeah. Again, I mean, why separate this leg? It's not fun to put it together. It does not fit really well. I mean, I know it's cut along the armor part to hide the seam, but it's it's weird. It's weird. Some parts are weird to put together. But the poses are nice. They're very dynamic. It's really interesting, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do understand that there are probably some fans that are rooting for the Empire when watching Star Wars, but again, it's different because when you play Warhammer, I mean, of course there are like probably some factions you can consider as worse or better to some extent, but it's like everyone against everyone, and and all factions are basically the bad guys, more or less extent, and here it's different because you have the good guys and the bad guys, and it's also different. Like, um, I mean, I can imagine, you want to play, especially when you're a kid, and no one wants to play the bad guys. It's like I think that's also kind of a drawback of this setting for a game. Like maybe it's not as the same as with some, I don't know. It's still fiction, so you can play Darth Vader or I don't know, but it's really, I mean, all the setting or all the stories are generally about the good guys, and you want to be the good guys. You want to be like the main characters. You don't want to be some stormtroopers in this universe, and it's pretty obvious. So it's I think it's another like thing you have to consider if you want to play this game. Okay, going through Super Commandos, female, whoever that is. I mean, she looks Mandalorian for me, and we are at the letter I. IO2, IO. Okay. Okay, this one is really small, really delicate, really like really small. It's yeah, and it has some weird details. I mean, weird. I would say weird design decisions again, at least for me. But yeah, maybe again some decisions are to hide some connections, make it look better. And again, one strange thing is that when you have minis that big, I think you would want them all to be special, not some generic clone troopers. It's like it's something special. You assemble it, you paint it. It's a big miniature. So you want it to be special, not some guy that appeared for 3 seconds in a movie. Um, but again, you can't have like only like main characters fighting. You don't have probably that many of them. I mean, you do, but yeah, maybe it's just my background, the kinds of of minis I've been assembling make me look at it this way. That this big miniature should be really special character, but maybe it's just perfectly okay for it to be a normal generic soldier, clone trooper, whatever, and maybe it's a-okay. How does it hold? Yeah, it holds nice. It stands okay. One super commandos more with a jetpack, and then some Jedi things, some robot. Oh my god, free battle droids. Free battle droids. Oh my. Yeah. Okay, and now the armor plates. Go on top of the legs. Yeah. Does it work well? I don't know if it looks okay. I don't know. I'm gonna see when I paint it how it works. But I mean, these hands. I mean, it's all for me. I have a feeling again that everything is even thinner because it's cartoony a bit, and it's not making it, it's not you know making these minis a favor in my opinion. It's not making them look better because they are cartoonish, but it's just my opinion. Or maybe not. Maybe more people think this way, and that's why they were there were so many sets on sale on the Black Friday. I don't know. same letter as the previous one because it's just a generic super commandos. No face. Okay, yeah, another big guy with a jetpack. I mean, it's nice that in the base set there are so many, uh, you know, dynamic, uh, dynamically posed um, units, characters, miniatures generally. That's really nice, and it shows the potential of these miniatures and this game. Um, Again, it's interesting how it plays together. I mean, because the terrain looks humongous, and I'm wondering, you know, what's the scale of this game really when you set out the terrain? What are the distances between them? What are the how it plays? I mean, what are the distances between the miniatures when you start the game? What are the like the distances between the deployment zones? So how dynamic is this game? How long it takes for the miniatures to reach like the engagement zone? Um, yeah, how it works generally, and do you really make use of this scale and this terrain and the fact that these guys are so, I mean, have so big footprint, and when you like when you compare these guys, I mean, this assassin or commandos with Darth Maul, his footprint, does it? I mean, what does it make in the game? What difference it makes that they are this big or this small? I don't know it yet. How it works with visibility, distance, firing distance, engagement distance, um, how it works with the terrain. It's all interesting. I mean, it's all very different, at least for now, for me, from the games I've played and I know. So yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be interesting to play it just a little bit, at least. And, okay, again, guy with two guns. I mean, these guns they look really plain and some like Star Trek's phasers. They were not like elaborate pieces of equipment, I would say. I know it's in Star Wars, it's a bit the same, maybe, but yeah, yeah. Again, as always, I'm trying to glue together too many parts at once because I'm not very patient with that. Yeah, this hand should be more like this. This should be down, and it looks really, really nice. And legs, and the leg falls off. pretty big guy, and yeah. So again, it's also interesting because there is a lot of talk about miniatures, Warhammer miniatures having too much detail. So you spend a lot of time painting all these small details, and whether it's good or not, whether it's too much, whether it's too big, um, like entry point. I mean, to making it too difficult for people to just paint their minis to be able to play a game. If you just want to pick out every little detail and have it painted, I mean, have some paint on it that is like following the design of the miniature, and considering that this and this part is like different um, detail, and you have to consider it, and you have to just choose some other paint for that. That is just too much. And here I'm wondering um, that there are some big, you know, plain areas of that miniatures, and how it this gonna work, because even here, I mean, he has some armor, but these are like big areas with not much detail, like his holsters. It's not really a lot happening there. So how it's gonna work? Is it gonna be like satisfying experience to paint that, or it's gonna be just a mundane task to cover it all with paint, and make it look interesting, not just plain. Okay, here the seam looks pretty okay for this long seam in such a generally plain part. Especially you have this additional seams in this cloth, so yeah, it should be okay. It should not stand out much, or just looks like a planned part. Here is like an interesting element with this long I don't know, tabard, or some parts, yeah. But again, it looks like not like properly sculpted, like not fully carved out as it should be. Not not properly. I would say. I think the word is articulated as it should be. This I have to correct before gluing together. So yeah, this looks weird, and again, I'm not putting the arms with the brittle lightsabers before putting torso with the legs together. I'm sure it's gonna be a better base for the arms when this all is together already. Yeah, but this not look nice. It looks cartoony again. It's look like it's not sharp enough for painting. It's not gonna look, I'm afraid, too good. So yeah, maybe again it's just one of the reasons there were so many offers. But again, I don't want to like dunk on this game. I don't know it well yet, and maybe it's gonna be a real nice experience to paint it. It's not get ahead of ourselves, myself. This part is a bit more tricky to make it look good and seamless. again, it's really nice how it's all designed to go between the creases and cloth parts to hide the seams and the joints between the parts. And okay, this one. Okay, yeah, not too much pressure. This one goes okay because with the fingers stuck, with the fingers pointed. The front, yeah. It's a lot of gray plastic there to paint. It's a lot of gray plastic real estate. And again, probably with some very specific references of to how it should look like, not leaving much to to the creativity of whether you want to paint some patterns there or whatever. KO1, KO2, the torso of this Kalani. Again, I have to say, I don't know who is that. Droid, and you know, in 40k, you don't want to have many droids. Don't want to have droids, it's heresy. So, apart from this character from Blackstone Fortress, I'm not really used to that many K11, yeah, droids with artificial intelligence. And here I really do prefer this some hologram than just another gun, although this one looks pretty interesting, this gun, but yeah. And again, that's weird that you get really interesting alternative builds for really secondary or even tertiary characters, and for the main ones that get all the attention, like the Anakin, the Darth Maul, you get only one. So every little every one of these that you will come across in this game will look basically the same. I mean, as long as there are no alternative, completely alternative guys that you can come across in different sets. For this game, so that you have like completely alternative sculpts for these main characters. All Darth Mauls you will come across will look basically the same, and this head is some absolute travesty. I mean, why make such a parts to get together? It's really not something enjoyable to put together, honestly. It's not something cool. I mean, at least you can repose this droid head to something more interesting and make him look at this stuff he, he's got in his hand. But it's, yeah, it's not nice. It's really not nice this time. Okay, so again, why for this guy make absolutely alternative way of assembly with interesting thing in his hand and completely different pose and attributes or equipment, and for the main guy, for the main focus, for the main character, just one Darth Maul with his dual lightsaber posed in only one specific way. Okay, and here we go in the area of really fragile and delicate droids, or Kalani in this case, and I'm getting it's gonna get interesting if it's gonna be real pain to put them together or not, and how to make his legs correct for him to stand when the glue gets dry. For sure it's not this. Yeah, so these joints does not look interesting and nice to put together, and I don't understand why they make it this way. Again, I mean, it should be nice to put together, and it's not. Again, a mini should be able to stand on its own without gluing it to the base. It's really good if it's stable without gluing it to the base. Okay. So we need to get together his arm. It holds this holographic image or something. Yeah. Kalani. Yep. Okay, I think I will leave the battle droids for the dessert because we are reaching 2 hours of this stream, and I think it will be best for this model if I leave these last guys, which are really difficult to put together, for another session, because it won't do them or me any good if I put them together now. And again, I understand you are not expected to get these all guys together in one go. But if you want to do it, it's not so cool that you get the most demanding guys in one cluster, and you have all the battle droids and all the most demanding guys. And believe me, the battle droids, when I look for their schematics, how to put them together, they are really demanding. They have really, really small little bits that are kind of pistons that go in the back of their heads, and another parts of their arms that are really, really fragile. Just look at those hands. It is demanding to get them together, and it's these guys are not so enjoyable. But yeah, okay, maybe just maybe just I should have them just done. A, B, and C. Yeah, we have 3 battle droids. So, and why there are so many parts for them? Okay. So, LO1. Where is LO1? Okay, here. LO1. LO2. Yep. And LO3 is a backpack. Rather networking part. To be able to steer these battle droids, or for them to communicate with each other, or I don't know how in the lore it's explained that they operate. Yeah. So on the one hand, these guys are really interesting to build, because they really their joints and all the parts are really interesting. Okay, so they really follow some way in which they could be to some extent built and operate. So with all these pistons and arms and connections. But on the other hand, yeah, they look really demanding. Okay, so we have a droid A, B, and C. And there are 2 sets of them. Yet that's something I missed, I think. So there are like 2 of each of them. Yeah, that makes sense. And there's this little M guy, which is, I think, not on these sprues, but on the terrain sprues. So yeah, so it's 6 droids to build. Yeah, that's even better. That's even better. Yeah. So LO5, LO4. Yeah, that's gonna be nasty with these little pistons that you have to connect the back of the droid head. Yeah, I mean, the battle droids are, I think, one of the most, you could now say, mimic or meme meme prone guys. Yeah. universe. Roger, Roger. Yeah. So LO8, LO6. Oh my god. This is really... this is brittle. LO6. LO7. Okay, so he's holding this gun in his two hands. His really long, delicate legs. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not so bad, at least till now, with building these guys. I don't think I will be sticking them to, gluing them to the bases just now, because I want to have some freedom with posing them together and maybe coming up with something interesting for their bases, because at least that's the one part I can have some freedom with posing. But now I think I made some boo-boo with his hand, or not. Yeah, I did. Ooh, yeah. I think I cut off some it did some wrong moment. Yeah. So here goes one hand, and I think it's meant to fit in exactly one way. Now the other hand. Wonder if they are planning to maybe they already have done some like unfolded droids in transit. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, this gets tricky. And his legs. Yeah. Okay. So he's stepping forward, and this is somehow, I think, yeah, it should lock in a certain position. I mean, his leg should lock in a certain position, and it is not so easy to do. Yeah, this one goes well, this one not so much. Okay. Yeah, and I think this guy was the one to finish with, because they are demanding, and after 2 hours of putting them together, I think it's best to put this on hold and not to damage these guys, because these really demanding. So yeah, thank you for all of you who have been watching the stream for Toxic Cloud for WhatsApp. I hope you are okay and doing fine with your hobby and everything else. And thank you for everyone watching. And I hope you got something interesting for you about the, especially if you're considering picking up this game, this set. You have some of your probably maybe questions answered or doubts um, cleared. And well, if you pick up this game, let me know. If it was some kind of help for you, let me know. And of course, look forward to look for the video I will be putting out. Preparing. I will be preparing with final result of this whole journey. Yeah. So have good time with your hobbing, and hope to see you again.